little soldering demo?
Sure, if you'd like.
Okay. We'll close the jump ring.
That's fantastic.
Okay. Let me just get set.
No worries. People are going to be jumping on any second here.
There we go.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, wait, hold on, I'm not ready.
No, don't worry. We're not quite ready yet either. Hey, you guys. Good morning or afternoon or wherever it is you guys are. I am Kate Richburg and I am live. Lakewood. I don't even know where Lakewood is. England. Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland. That's what Eva just said, Lakewood. I'm Kate Richburg, and I am live from Bead Fest, Philly, here in, hello, good morning, or good afternoon. Live from, oh, thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Thanks for watching today. And thanks so much for sharing. Hey, Janice, how are you? I really appreciate you guys sharing this broadcast as well. And I see that you guys are giving me some hearts in the background there. We love the hearts. That means hello, Beth and Lorianne. How are you?
Hi, Beth and Lorianne.
Yeah, Eva says hello. I'm going to be here in just a second with Eva Sherman, but just to tell you a few things. The hearts show me that you like what you're seeing and that, you know, the camera angle is good, all that kind of good stuff. You can also find all things Kate Richburg related, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. Let me turn this around so I'm talking to you guys. You can find all things Kate Richburg related right at my website at katerichbourg.com. All of my tutorials, all that cool stuff. But this weekend I'm teaching at Bead Fest. And, oh, there's a Cleveland in Tennessee too.
Hey,
who knew?
What do you know?
We didn't know.
No.
How? But now we do. So this weekend I've been teaching, I'm in the middle of teaching my big 20-person class all day today, and Eva's about to start her class. So I'm going to turn the camera on Miss Eva Sherman, fantastic instructor.
Hi,
there
everyone.
She is.
Hi.
And we're right here in her classroom. I'm going to pan just a little bit so you can see some of her stuff from her classroom. And Eva so graciously agreed to share something that she's been doing lately that she really, really loves. So let's take a look what you got.
Well, actually, silver soldering is kind of a departure for me. If you know my work, I'm mostly into copper cuffs, and in fact, a little commercial, I have a book coming out this summer called Cool Copper Cuffs.
Oh, awesome.
But, you know, when you work on a book, you're actually creating projects that were conceived, 2 years ago.
Right,
so
exactly.
Since then, I've kind of moved on to a little bit of more soldering.
Which we
and
love.
Soldering. Well, I'm talking to the queen of
Well.
soldering, yes. So I have started soldering jump rings into all kinds of things, and because the circle is such a basic design element, you really can do just
endless
about
things.
anything
Right.
with it. So
let's take a look
This
at your
is a
finger.
ring that it's just all jump rings,
That is fantastic.
and there's a little tube set bezel in
Yeah.
it. This was a class I actually taught here yesterday, just the
Oh,
jump rings,
great.
not the tube set. And then this
And
is
there's
my
your
little.
necklace. Yeah, I'm
don't
gonna
look at
come
my
up in
ugly
person.
neck, just my
No.
necklace.
It looks fantastic.
And so, anyways,
Great.
just
you could. I have all kinds of ideas for earrings, rings, all kinds of
cool
things.
stuff. Can we see the back of this ring?
Yes, of course. It's all
See how it's
jump
all
rings.
jump rings, you guys. Isn't that
Nothing
fantastic?
but.
And so what, this is sterling silver.
Yes.
And what gauge is this?
The rings are 16 gauge.
Okay,
And
fantastic.
I'm actually sort of
getting interested in fusing. So my idea is that I will, once I master the soldering, I will move to fusing and then be able to teach,
Fuse this piece.
fuse
Yeah.
or solder, either way.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So the class that we're kind of in the middle of now is we're doing rings, and some of them are just, so this was the first one that we did.
Oh, thanks, Brenda. Yeah, I love that too.
This is the second one. That's a fused or a
so
soldered
beautiful.
jump ring, and then this afternoon we're going to be doing this
Oh,
one.
that looks amazing.
So my
I'm going
des-
to get kind of the side view.
Yeah,
here.
sure. And sort of my aesthetic these days is the little tube set bezels. I just love them.
They're really
just
great.
Such a nice little accent.
Oh, thank you. You've got it. They look lovely. They do look lovely.
Thank
And are
you.
you using pre-made solder bezel cups? Or
Yes,
tube set
pre-made.
cups?
I am all about the pre-made. I don't want to do the work. I will pay someone to do the jump rings, and I will pay someone to make the tube
those
sets.
tube settings.
And
Yeah,
I
they're
just
great.
like to experiment with designing with them.
They look Fantastic.
So-
So you're going to do a little soldering demo
Yeah,
for
if you
us
guys
right
would
here.
like to see what I do,
Yes.
I'm going to start with a, this is a 16 gauge, 14 millimeter jump ring. First thing I have to do is close it because, as you know, solder doesn't jump any gaps. So we're
I'm
going
going to just put,
Yep.
Eva,
Yep.
you had a question. So this is, you can find all of Eva's information about her classes and everything in her teaching studio over at grandriverbeads.com. Hi, Deborah Mauser. Deborah Mauser
Hi,
is on,
Deborah.
watching from across the way.
She can almost
Awesome.
hear us.
That's right.
So, okay, so I've closed the jump ring, and then I know everybody's got different methodologies, but my method of keeping my solder wire straight is I typically use medium, easy, and extra easy. And medium is my first step, so medium gets one roll. And then easy is my
Oh,
second
I
step.
see. So see those on
easy
the ends?
gets two rolls.
Okay.
And then extra easy is the third step, so that gets 3 rolls.
That is so clever.
Well, I just got tired of mixing up my solders and things didn't work.
That's
and
really
you know,
smart.
I used to keep in a bag and I would write M or E
Right.
on it, but they still get mixed up.
They
so
do.
this way,
You
you
know
waste
exactly which
I know
one it is.
exactly which one I'm doing. So since
That
I'm
is a
only
great tip.
doing one join here,
Okay.
I can actually use any one of these. And if you know anything about soldering, you know that you start your first step. You're going to start with your highest melting temperature and then move
And
down.
then move on down,
So
right.
just to make this kind of quick, we'll use the 2 rolls, which is the easy. So I'm going to cut just a little bit.
And Ava's using just a regular wire cutter, you guys, to cut that with.
And so, you know, solder, less is more, so you don't need very many. So I just cut myself a little piece of solder, and then I'm going to take this solder and I'm going to dip it in my flux dish.
And her flux is right there.
Yeah, and then
And that's just a liquid flux?
yes, it's
Okay.
the Mighty Flux. Get
Okay.
it from Rio. And then I'm going to take the ring and put the join right on top
I'm going to get
of-
up right close and personal, you guys, so you can see that.
So I don't know if you can see from the side maybe, the jump ring is actually sloping up because the little solder joint is underneath.
underneath.
And that way, when I turn my torch on, I don't blow my solder chip off.
That's
which-
really clever.
so I actually learned that from, I can't remember the guy's name, but he did a video for Rio about soldering.
Oh, fantastic.
It was one of his little tips.
His
so-
little tips, that's
yeah.
great.
So we'll get all the flammable stuff out of the way. We'll turn my torch on.
And so you guys, watch that little piece of solder that
Yeah.
Eva put down there.
You're going to see the whole thing drop. So there's a little bit of the flux is starting to bubble. And did you see
See
it
that drop? Bam.
And now I'm just keeping it on there for a few more seconds to make sure that it comes up the join.
And so can you see when that solder flowed, the jump ring dropped, and that solder just by default flowed up into
Yes.
that join, right? Fantastic.
So we'll cool it and then we'll check the join. And you know, I always put too much solder because it's almost like you can't have
You know what? I do too.
small enough.
I
piece
know,
of
small enough
solder.
piece, yeah, for
So there's
sure.
always a little extra on there, and if I don't feel like getting out one of the drilling tools or polishing or grinding tools, this little block that I get from Sally's Beauty Supply does a fairly decent job of taking off excess solder.
Extra solder.
And it's not as good as your flex shaft or Dremel or anything else that's got, but
But
it
this
works.
small, yeah, it works great for this
Yeah.
small little solder chip.
Right, right.
It's fantastic.
So, and then if you make a bunch of these, and then you can solder them together. So, if you were to solder more than one, you would probably solder your rings together with medium, and then maybe use easy to join. Although I have found that if you're working flat, you can do all medium.
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't-
it doesn't, nothing is
Right,
moving apart.
Right. So even if you melt your previous join,
It doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something 3-dimensional, then you're going to definitely want to go from medium. I don't know why I'm
easy.
telling you, Kate.
No,
Richburg.
you are. That's you. I learned something with that solder wire today. That's the best part of doing these. I learned from all of my fellow instructors. That's awesome. Well, you guys, I'm going to flash right down onto Eva's pieces one more time, and I'm going to thank you so much because her class is starting to come in. I'm going to take a little pan over there,
Okay,
if
thank
you
you,
don't
Kate.
mind. But
Thanks.
thank you guys so much. I'm going to grab the card and I'll flash on that one more time. Everybody's giving you lots of hearts. And so I'm going to, if you make it flat, then you can shape it like a ring. Exactly. You just solder it flat and then turn it around. You guys,
Make sure you use a lower melting temperature when you do the final
when you do
join.
the final join, right?
One one more thing.
Oh, one more thing, you
Oh,
guys.
sorry, you don't have to.
No.
This tutorial is actually going to be in step wire jewelry coming up in, I don't know if it's spring or summer.
All right, step-by-step wire jewelry.
Yes.
Fantastic. Awesome. So you guys, I'll flash Eva's cuffs. Aren't those beautiful? That's kind of her signature piece right there. And I'll walk just around. You guys can see this was her first book here that you can find. And of course, you can find some of her great DVDs that were produced by jewelrytools.com. So I'll flash her card one more time. You know where you can find Miss Eva Sherman right there. I'm going to turn the iPad back on me. Just a second. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I'm going to get out of your classroom. Thanks, you guys, for letting me interrupt. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. It was fun, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, you guys, I'm going back to my classroom now. No rest for the wicked. And I'm never lonely. Exactly, exactly. Have a great class, you guys. So thanks a lot, you guys, for joining me. Wasn't that awesome? Like, we just saw Eva Sherman totally just give us a soldering demo. Wasn't that great? So I am going to, as I said, go jump back into my classroom, and I'll be back a little bit later with another fantastic demo. So off to my 20 ladies to teach them how not to be afraid of fire. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me. It's Kate Richburg, live from Beadfest, Philly. All right, thanks. I'm glad you'll be waiting. At least someone will. Talk to you guys soon. You're welcome. Bye.